Now, unfortunately, we know what comes next. We know folks are going to do everything they can to distort her truth. My husband and I sadly know a little something about this. For years, Donald Trump did everything in his power to try to make people fear us. See, his limited, narrow view of the world made him feel threatened by the existence of two hard-working, highly educated, successful people who happen to be black.
Oh, that's gotta hurt!
You could tell she'd been keeping that in since the 2017 inauguration.
I want to know. Who's going to tell him that the job he's currently seeking might just be one of those black jobs?
In a profound speech at the DNC, Michelle Obama said that hope is making a comeback, and I think that has a nice ring to it.
America, hope is making a comeback.
But not all the excitement was taking place in Chicago, in arguably one of the biggest flexes in modern day politics, while a packed DNC crowd was even more energetic on day two. Kamala Harris and Tim Walz packed another venue, the same venue that the RNC was actually held, but with more people and less hate, while the convention was literally still going on. But let's not get into crowd size again, because we know how the cult leader-in-chief feels about that, especially after Barack and Tim Walz hit him with the old accordion hands. Obama wasn't as slick with that as he thought.
This weird obsession with crowd sizes.
Not only do we have massive energy at our convention, we got a hell of a lot more energy at where they had their convention, right here. So, this yeah. That one guy's gonna be so sad tonight. So sad. So sad, so sad.
But while day two was filled with several highlights, see Lil Jon announcing roll call for Georgia as one of them.
We are here tonight to officially nominate Kamala Harris for president!
I think it's important we highlight the entirety of this speech from former First Lady Michelle Obama. After walking out to a roaring applause, she went on to deliver not only one of the best speeches of the convention so far, but a masterclass on how one should deliver such a speech on behalf of their candidate, by not only humiliating the opponent in epic fashion, may I add, but by generating hope and excitement surrounding what that candidate could accomplish as president.
She understands that most of us will never be afforded the grace of failing forward. We will never benefit from the affirmative action of generational wealth. If we bankrupt a business or choke in a crisis, we don't get a second, third, or fourth chance. If things don't go our way, we don't have the luxury of whining or cheating others to get further ahead. No. We don't get to change the rules so we always win. If we see a mountain in front of us, we don't expect there to be an escalator waiting to take us to the top. No. We put our heads down. We get to work. In America, we do something. See, because the minute something goes wrong, the minute a lie takes hold, folks, we cannot start wringing our hands. We cannot get a Goldilocks complex about whether everything is just right. And we cannot indulge our anxieties about whether this country will elect someone like Kamala instead of doing everything we can to get someone like Kamala elected. Kamala and Tim, they have lived amazing lives. And I am confident that they will lead with compassion, inclusion, and grace. But they are still only human. They are not perfect. And like all of us, they will make mistakes. But luckily, y'all, this is not just on them. No, this is up to us, all of us, to be the solution that we seek. It's up to all of us to be the antidote to the darkness and division. Look, I don't care how you identify politically, whether you're Democrat, Republican, Independent, or none of the above. This is our time to stand up for what we know in our hearts is right. To stand up, not just for our basic freedoms, but for decency and humanity, for basic respect, dignity, and empathy, for the values at the very foundation of this democracy. It's up to us to remember what Kamala's mother told her. Don't just sit around and complain, do something. So if they lie about her, and they will, we've got to do something. If we see a bad poll, and we will, we got to put down that phone and do something. If we start feeling tired, if we start feeling that dread creeping back in, we got to pick ourselves up, throw water on our face, and what? We only have 2.5 months, y'all, to get this done. Only 11 weeks to make sure every single person we know is registered and has a voting plan. So we cannot afford for anyone America to sit on their hands and wait to be called. Don't complain if no one from the campaign has specifically reached out to you to ask you for your support. There is simply no time for that kind of foolishness. You know what you need to do.
Because yeah, listen, we all like the jabs at Trump, especially when you know it's resulting in Heinz covering the walls of Mar-a-Lago. But it is in generating that hope, what a future looks like under the Harris-Walz ticket, citing their policy positions and plans instead of simply tearing down others. That is where this election will be won. Because as Michelle Obama's husband said perfectly, it is so easy to tear things down. In fact, it's all Republicans have. But when pressed on what their plan is to rectify the issue they complain about, they have nothing.
The people who will decide this election are asking a very simple question. Who will fight for me? Who's thinking about my future, about my children's future, about our future together? One thing is for certain, Donald Trump is not losing sleep over that question. Here's a 78-year-old billionaire who has not stopped whining about his problems since he rode down his golden escalator 9 years ago. It has been a constant stream of gripes and grievances that's actually been getting worse now that he's afraid of losing to Kamala. There's the childish nicknames, the crazy conspiracy theories, this weird obsession with crowd sizes. It just goes on and on. That sense of mutual respect has to be part of our message. Our politics have become so polarized these days. that all of us across the political spectrum seem so quick to assume the worst in others, unless they agree with us on every single issue. We start thinking that the only way to win is to scold and shame and out-yell the other side. And after a while, regular folks just tune out, or they don't bother to vote. Now, that approach may work for the politicians who just want attention and thrive on division, but it won't work for us to make progress on the things we care about, the things that really affect people's lives. We need to remember that we've all got our blind spots and contradictions and prejudices, and that if we want to win over those who aren't yet ready to support our candidates, we need to listen to their concerns and maybe learn something in the process. After all, if a parent or grandparent occasionally says something that makes us cringe, we don't automatically assume they're bad people. We recognize that the world is moving fast, that they need time and maybe a little encouragement to catch up. Our fellow citizens deserve the same grace we hope they'll extend to us.
I mean, take for instance Trump's recent presser whenever he was asked about his elusive plans for an Obamacare replacement that he vowed in 2016 would be bigger, better, and more beautiful, but has never seen the light of day.
By contrast, I'm going to keep the Affordable Care Act unless we can do something much better. We'll keep it. It stinks. It's not good. If we can do something better, we're going to do something with it. If we can do better, meaning less expensive and better health care for you, less expensive and better health care for you, then we'll do it. We're not looking better for the government. We're looking better for you. She goes around saying, well, he's going to get rid of the health. No, I'm going to keep it unless we can come up with something that's better for you and less expensive for you. Otherwise, we're not doing it.
On health care, we should all be proud of the enormous progress that we've made through the Affordable Care Act, providing millions of people access to affordable coverage, protecting millions more from unscrupulous insurance practices. I noticed, by the way, that since it's become popular, they don't call it Obamacare no more.
Or his views on Florida's abortion referendum that I'm positive he doesn't have any idea about. The man has no plan A, B, or C, just attacks and petty name-calling. And rest assured, after seeing both speeches from Michelle and Barack Obama, there will be more of that to come.
I want to know, who's going to tell him that the job he's currently seeking might just be one of those black jobs?
Hey Meidas Mighty, love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.